All right.
We'll call this meeting to order. Was this meeting properly noticed?
Yes, it was.
May we have a roll call of board members?
Bankowski.
Here.
Ula, sorry. Caldwell,
Here.
Kraus.
Here,
Okay, everyone's here.
would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I need to have a motion to approve the agenda as written.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Okay.
Do we get a second?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. We need a motion now to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made and second to approve the minutes. Anything be added? If not, we'll motion to approve by saying aye. We can go on to the public hearing.
The first application is an after-the-fact special exception request under section 405-12C of the Adams County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance to allow an accessory building without a residence on property located in the southeast quarter, section 2, town 14 north, range 6 east, lot 71, Tall Pine subdivision, town of Del Prairie. We did receive some voice. The town form. I got it. On the January 11th, the applicant did go to the town of Del Prairie board. The town of Del Prairie does not object to the request. However, they did have a suggested condition if the board did approve it. And that is that a building permit for a permanent residence must be pulled by August 1st of this year. And that was signed by the town board. I received no other correspondence in this matter.
Yeah, my name is Gene Schmidt. I met with the town board. Can you all hear me?
Volume 59.
Are you all able to hear me?
Mute. Volume 59.
Why do I not have?
Can you hear me?
Try again, please.
Oh, yeah, can you hear me?
Now we can.
Very good. Yeah, I met with the town of Del Prairie, and I wanted to mail in these documents, but the first thing I want to show you is that I do have a bank loan approval from the Bank of Boston right here, approving a loan to build a cabin or home on that property from Jackie Myers. And also I have a building plan in front of me. And I showed all of this to the town of Del Prairie. And so my plans are to put a home, to get a building permit and to put a building up, to follow the building permit codes, et cetera. I've been in contact with every aspect of the building, planning, including architecture, all the way from plumbing, septic, everything. And I plan on mailing these things in to when I come and get a permit or bring them in to the planning and zoning department. So I have no intention of using that shed for a cabin. I have no intention of doing that. I do have I've been meeting, like I said, with all the people involved with the process of putting a building up there. So, so I did show all of that again to Del Prairie, and they saw all my documentation and then just said I needed to get the building permit before August of this year.
Do we have anybody to speak for?
At this time, we'll open it up to public comment. Are there any members of the public wishing to speak for or against this application? Are there any members of the public wishing to speak for or against this application?
Yes, my name is Jim Zenasek, and I own a property on 3690 Norway Court. And we've been here about 13 years and no one else has ever done anything down there. But besides that, my question is, I don't really care what Gene does as long as he follows the rules. But there's a lot of campers been in that place off and on. I'm just wondering what's going to go with those, because he owns the lot to the left, I believe, of the fire lane where he has this portable shed right now. And I know he owns lots farther to the right. Where would he be constructing his house, on a quarter-acre lot or any other 2 lots he owns?
First of all, those little campers are out of there. They're not there anymore. And second of all, the building would be constructed on the same property as where the little shed is right now.
Okay. So would you be taking that little shed out once you start building, or is it going to be there for construction materials?
I looked at the plot, I've had people look at the half-acre lot there, and the excavator is able to excavate there and take out the needed space to properly build the structure there.
Okay. See,
And
my
I've
only,
met with, oh, go ahead, sorry.
my only qualm, and it's not with you, is that neighborhood, my wife and I were going to build a house there one time. But that neighborhood, to me, is getting out of control with all the garbage and everything around there. And people are pulling campers in, they're parked twice in the
Yeah,
driveway.
that can be addressed. You can contact my office to address that issue. That
But
has
I
nothing to
just-
do with the application.
My main thing, as long as everyone follows the rules, that's all I care about.
Okay,
Yeah, my plan is to follow the rules and to, like I said, I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of meetings to properly put a nice structure there. And I own the property, and it's very well kept.
are there any other members of the public wishing to make a comment? Any other members? Okay, public portion is closed
Okay,
and the board will deliberate.
I have a question, Paula, about the existing shed. When was it put there? And what permission you had to do that? Why it doesn't look like a shed? It looks like a bivouac or a temporary camper. It looks like it's been lived in. And what your intentions are about removing it, or what your plans are. I mean, you can't drive anything out of it because it's only got a door. I never saw a shed with bow windows on it. So this looks to me like it never was a shed.
I'd like to make a point about that. When I bought that shed from Hickory Buildings in Montello, I told them the square footage. I did call about what Adams County square footage requirements were. And he apparently said he knew the code and everything. And when he sold me that shed, it was sold as the internal part of that shed being under the 150 square feet. However, according to Adams County code, the deck adds extra square footage to the building. No, it has not been lived in. No one's lived in it. Have no plans of anyone living in it. And I don't believe I've been the only one in Adams County to ever be sold a shed where the seller sold the shed saying it met a code or met the zoning or the codes, etc. Again, I have no plans of anyone living in it. And I put it in there for storage to put things in the store because eventually I wanted to put a building on the property.
Once you build your home, is this thing gonna stay there? I mean, or are you gonna remove it?
At the time when he builds the house, this shed becomes perfectly legal to be there. I mean, with or without the application,
Yeah.
this. And it's out, I think he said he was going to keep it, if I understood correctly.
Yeah, and again, it's not going to be used for any living arrangement. And second of all, when I found out it was not proper, I made every effort to go through the variance process. I've been totally transparent with the town board, Del Prairie people about doing things properly. And had I known that that deck added that square footage and went over the code, I wouldn't have bought that shed.
Did they answer your questions, Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Do we have any other questions?
Now's the time to ask them.
We need to entertain a motion to either approve or deny.
Unless you want to put those conditions on.
Oh, we have, to yes, the conditions of town.
The town recommended obtaining a
August
permit
1st.
by August
Yes.
1st of 2022.
Okay, your motion must include that.
Well, that's a separate motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep, and then you do the approval later or after.
Okay.
And then I don't know if you want to have a completion date also. I think you did that in the last application you guys had. Like a permit by August 1st of 2022, completed by August 1st of 2020.
2023. A year is,
I'd like to discuss making conditions. I mean, the law was broken, the ordinance was broken. And I think it's only befitting that there be conditions enforced.
right?
We want to be compassionate, but the ordinances were broken. And I, for just my vote, don't believe this, everything is wiped clean and we start fresh from now. If you ran the red light, as far as I'm concerned, you get a ticket. And that will come in the way of possibly conditions.
Now's the time to discuss them amongst you guys,
You want to make that motion for the,
or even just discuss other conditions if that's.
Discuss it and come up with some conditions.
You don't even have one in mind?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, that's what he's asking.
Yeah, say them.
I'm asking the board to discuss it.
What conditions do you want, Robert?
Well, I'm thinking maybe that an absence from asking for further variances or special conditions in the future, like for the time that you own the property, that you wouldn't be able to, or you would not be allowed to ask for variances or special conditions in the future.
That is so inappropriate. We are not a court hearing here. We're not a judge.
no,
We only have this in front of us. We either add this condition or add another condition to it. but we are not the police department.
Oh, I realize that.
The only thing I would say about that, the ordinance specifically allows people to apply for these things. To-
If he came down the road for more exceptions, we have the right to refuse them then, Robert.
Okay.
So,
And that, it's a state statute that you have the right to go to in front of a Board of Adjustment to apply for a variance. It may be problematic if,
I'm learning.
yeah, I think it'd be problematic if you took that right away.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean, I mean, in the future.
Anybody else have any suggestions?
So, The one thing I can-
Red or red light, that's what I'm saying, that's all.
the one thing I can tell you is that when we issue the permit, let's just say the board does approve this today. And he does have to get a zoning permit then for this shed. At that point, we will double fee him because it was already there. That's a built-in penalty we have. Just so, I mean, so you're aware of that. So I mean, it's not like it's just,
I'd like to make one point as well. I'd like to say that I never intended to break that law, ever. I was meticulous in asking the company, telling them the square footage, et cetera, will this meet the code? I'm not running a red light intentionally. I even called the owner up and told them, next time you sell a building or shed, make sure you know the code better. So you spare people this headache.
good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I would move to approve this with that condition that the permit hold by August this year and completed by August of next year.
All right, make the motion
Separate.
for just the conditions. I'd like to attach the conditions that, what you said. I think that was his motion. The actual vote on the application will come next.
So your motion is he must apply.
That he's got to meet the,
To attach the condition that a permit must be
attach the
obtained.
conditions.
Right.
That built-in permit in August, completion 1 year later.
yes.
Second.
Okay,
Just a minute. Yeah, okay.
Well, you can do that one and you can still make another condition after if you'd like.
All I would like to do is add that instead of him waiting until he gets the permits for the building, is that he give you a copy of what he's got to send you already anyway. That he meant to send you, you know,
So he said he was gonna bring it too.
Oh,
yeah, that paperwork. He can just make a copy of what he has and bring to you, so you have it in your file on the build, the design
okay,
and the letter of approval.
Yep.
Okay, those two documents that he makes copies and gives to you before he even applies, he has to
Did you-
apply by then.
did you hear that, Mr. Schmidt? Or Reverend Schmidt? All the documents that you showed us, like the approval letter and kind of the design, when you apply for the permit for the shed, if they do grant it, bring those in with it, so I can get those part of the.
I got them all here. Yeah.
Yeah, just copies of them, so you have it in your file. Then when he comes and applies for the permit before August 1st of 22, that you already have everything in your file, Dustin.
Works for me. All right, so there is a motion and a second. So call for the vote.
Ford,
All in fa- Aye.
aye.
Okay.
Okay, the condition motion has been approved. Now we need a motion to approve.
Approve the application with
The
conditions.
application, I'm sorry.
I make that motion.
And I'll second that.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. The board vote. Bob?
Aye.
Bob?
Granted.
Laura?
I think everybody said yes.
Yep.
Okay. So we need to get a permit in place for the shed. So we'll need to get you in for that. And then they did put the condition on that you have to have a permit in place for the house by August 1st of this
Yeah.
year. And the house has to have an occupancy permit by August 1st of next year.
And what do I owe for the shed permit there?
After the double fee, it'll be 200.
Okay, no problem.
But yeah, come in or either come into the office or give me the paper or contact me at the office.
Yep.
This
Yep.
week.
Yep, no problem.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thank you all.
Maybe go on to the next.
That one? Yes, we did.
Give me 1 second, trying to find a piece of paper.
I'll let you see what I have. I don't know where.
All right, this application is for Merrick and Anita Biernat. This application has been tabled previously. It's a special exception request under section 405-12C of the Adams County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance to build an accessory building without a primary residence on property located in the northwest quarter, southeast quarter, section 18, town 19 north, range 5 east, lot 8, CSM 5532, and that's in the town of Monroe. We did, if I'm not mistaken, we had been waiting for the town participation portion of this for a couple of months now. We did finally receive word from the town of Monroe. They do object to the application. They did not say why, but it is signed by the board, and that was on December 28th of this, of 21. And I don't believe I received any other correspondence. That's all I have.
There is no proposed residence.
No. Not that I'm aware of. I think the applicant is,
Just for the shed.
right. I believe the applicant is online. She could answer that question for you.
You got, oh, okay.
Anita, did you hear the question?
Yes. Hello. I did send a couple letters to Monroe Town, County, Monroe Town, and she got the letter why we try to put garage before the house. So the main reason why we wanna put the garage is for the construction material. And we are planning to build the house. When we got the lot, it's almost 3 acres. It's on the corner of Pittenwell Lake Pub. It was completely covered with wood. So we already removed like almost 1 acre of land, like trees. And there is a nice driveway providing to our backyard, and everything is ready for garage and the house. There is even a stick to mark when the house supposed to be and also the garage. So we have like a nicely planned everything together. But because of this situation right now, we've been in contact with couple contractors and couple companies who are building the houses. We just telling that we don't want to build because this yard is very beautiful and we are planning to retire there. I'm a nurse and my husband is working for CNC company, so I want to relocate it there. I'm working in Kenosha Kidney Center. And my plan is for the next 5 to 8 years relocated there. So we are, you know, making a smart moving, especially right now when the COVID and everything it increased the prices. So we've got in contact with a couple companies, and I have a papers that Woodcraft Homes is the first one, and we got already our. I don't know if you can see, guys. Like that's the house we wanna build. like 17 square foot a house with a full basement. And we got the all prices. We contact with them back and forth. So right now we are waiting a little bit because they increased the cost by 20,000 because of the lumber prices. So we will, but everything, it's, you know, then I did contact couple general contractors in Adams County. So I talked to Katie, and she is a wife, that's the Rainier Construction. But they told us that they are very busy. So for the next 2023, he's completely booked. So we're gonna get there as soon we can. So maybe he can manage. But even the timing to build the house is really, really long. So for the main reason we want that garage, we wanna put a fence around the backyard, just to prevent animals going, because we have, our backyard is connected with a state park. It's on exactly on the backyard. So what we wanna do, we wanna prevent wild animals going to the to our backyard, and we wanna like plant our trees and make that place good. So. And also, we have material constructions in our garage sitting. There is a galvanizing link chain. It's like 15 pieces. We're storing everything, like I have a small garage, so we're storing everything in a garage and also on a backyard. So we don't have any like convenience move to even start doing anything, because even if my husband wants to bring like a loaning motors and something like that, that's not gonna be enough to store everything for us. So that's why, even, and if you guys think we need like pay more taxes for the garage, yes, we will. And we will have no problem, because the garage will be 30 by 40. If we have to pay taxes for that, I'm totally fine. I just don't want anybody think that I wanna, you know, obey the law and doing something inappropriate. So that's why we want to do that special exception for the garage. We even have a company who are working with us with the slabs and the basement and everything. So for the next probably 1 to 2 years, the house will be there, because that's our plan to retire there.
So what you're saying is that the completion would be done by the end of 23 of the house?
No.
20.
Oh.
Or
What was
24?
the anticipated completion of the house?
No, not the complete. No, I did contact with a couple general contractors. They won't be able to start anything after 2023. They are booked. So but we have already like our materials and everything. We are already like store, like we have couple windows, we have doors, because we are from Illinois. So we wanna store some materials bringing from Chicago, from couple Polish companies. So we wanna kind of like be smart to save our money, and we don't want any like those you know, ready to put the houses, like, you know, those I don't know, that single wide or double wide. We don't want that, because this backyard is just incredible. So we don't want to absolutely waste the space and you know, break the view and everything. We have a certain house in our mind, but we do contact and right now, actually, after winter, we're gonna start planning being a base. So, but how it's gonna go, right now because everything is like, I did check the lumber price. They went down a little bit, now they spike up, so it's really hard to, but
I
that's.
believe the board has some questions for you.
Mhm.
I have a question because at Lake Arrowhead right now, we have at least a minimum of 6 new homes being built. So I can
Mhm.
understand concern about builders, but I can't believe that they're booked out that far. Not the way they're building in Arrowhead.
Yes, I did contact with Katie, the Rainier company, and she said that her husband is booked out to 2023. That's what she told me.
There's
So
more than one builder.
yes, I did. I did contact one guy. So he said he will be able to give me estimates. So that's why we're gonna contact with him for 2 months. So after winter, so we can get prices for basement and for structures. So yes, we did. Woodcraft. I did talk to Woodcraft. Woodcraft is be able to start in end of this year. So, but so far the Woodcraft is the most expensive. So I would love to try general contractors to save couple money, couple thousands of money. So I'm not ready to spend $400,000, $500,000 for the house. Have to be especially when you know from the start it's like you're planning for 300 and then you're gonna end up with little.
Any other,
I have comment. Now, this 30 by 40 shed is for storing your materials for building.
This is
And
not that this
it seems to me like, that's an awful long time to store the materials, I mean, if you can put off, store them someplace else, build up your shed at a later date, then you can still be within the 2-year period.
so I know you have restriction for shed. I would love to put a shed, but with 150 square footage, I'm not gonna be able. I can show you as a proof where that my galvanized thing is in my garage and what I'm doing. So I have nothing to really cover. It's just honesty. I didn't even consider like
What you're saying, and I understand the predicament. I said this is a long time between the completion of the shed, the application of the building permit ends in 2 years. And you won't have your occupancy permit by that time, is what you're saying.
okay.
The shed he's referring to is the one you've applied for, not a smaller shed.
No,
He's talking about 40 by 40.
no, I did apply for garage, not for a shed.
It's all the same thing.
Oh,
There's no
okay.
difference between shed, garage, or whatever. So what he's
Okay.
saying is that if they grant you permission, correct me if I'm wrong on what you're saying. If they grant you permission, you're telling them, well, I'm not even gonna be able to build until 2024. His concern is that there's no reason to store the materials that long. And there's such a time gap between the two. It just stretches out too long. If you wait to build the shed until you're closer to building the house.
yes, 2023, and you're gonna build a house and the house will be completed in 2024, is what it would be a better target date.
Is that
Right.
reflective of what you're?
Yeah.
I thought I paraphrased it right,
Yeah.
but
I
So-
can, sometimes you're breaking up. That's why I couldn't hear you.
so their concern is that you're building the shed now, but not building a house for 2 years, or not even starting a house for 2 years. So the
I
thought is maybe the
say-
shed should start next year.
I didn't say I'm not starting this year. I said that I did contact with couple contractors. Now I'm getting in contact with one more. So that might happen, but so far with some of the contractors, they didn't give me a good message about building soon. So, and from the other hand, I need my garage to store my boat. What's the purpose between that if I can't even store my boat? I can't even buy the boat if my land is close to the lake. I'm not saying just, okay, guys, just give me, okay, what I can do to get approved, to get tax on it. And I can use it as a storage and my garage for my boat, for my stuff I need when I'm there. I'm not saying I'm gonna live there because that's silly. There is a
Well,
plan.
The board's concern, and the reason this law even exists is because pretty much everybody that comes to my office says, oh, I'm not going to live in it. And it's exactly what they do. So it's not silly because it happens a lot. So that's why there's this process, and the way the board
Looks at the grant.
tries to counteract that is to put a limit, or not a limit, a condition on of the date that you have to be moved into a house by.
Okay.
And especially when you're talking to 30 by 40, that's bigger than most houses in our county.
Your application mentions nothing about the boat. It's all building materials,
Well. I would
Storage,
suggest-
yeah, right.
you know.
Let's put the same, what we did with the previous one.
We can do that.
Right.
You got August, this year you get a permit.
Next
You're in
year, the house
next year by
complete.
August. The same conditions we just put on the previous one.
So the discussion that they're having, if you didn't hear it, if you were listening to the last applicant, they haven't voted on it yet, but the condition that they're talking about adding is that you would have to have your permits in place for a house by August 1st of this year. And the house has to be completed
August 1st.
of next year,
23.
by August 1st of 2023, so next year. If you don't meet those guidelines, the shed that you're gonna build has to come down.
Okay, so what I can do to get that shed to approve? Okay, so because I need to store some stuff. So let's put this way, can I do like get up, but I don't know if that's even possible. The shed is almost like a house. I'm gonna store that everything there, but you're gonna treat that like a house. Is that any possibility? And I can pay taxes as a 1,200 square footage house.
Well, if you wanted to treat it as a house and it meets the building code and it's actually a house, then we don't even need to have this meeting. You
No,
can come in and apply for a house permit.
we don't. Yeah, we
If it
don't.
doesn't meet the building code, it's not a house.
That's why, I don't know what to do because we don't wanna live there. We don't wanna even like there will be only electricity there. So I don't even why.
I understand your situation.
Like
And I appre-
yes,
and I
because and I can't.
appreciate- Go ahead.
Bob, go ahead.
I appreciate people who plan ahead, and that's important. But I'd like to find a solution to make you happy. There are places all over the county to store boats. There's storage facilities all over the county. For an interim period of time, you can put your boat in a boat storage safely, dry, well kept. You can put some building materials, tools, etc. in a storage shed. Wait a year until your contractor is amicable to fitting your schedule, and then go ahead with your project. Hoping that helps.
should we open up to a public comment? No? And then that way we can close the public hearing and the board can deliberate, or do you have another question?
There's two, really. The shed, you call it a shed and you call it a garage, okay? Is it a pole type shed or is it a
Stick built.
stick built garage?
So we had a plan to put a metal garage, just like from the metal company, like you have guys in all over the places. So this is gonna be just like a metal garage.
Okay, because why I asked that question is a pole type shed could either be 4, well, not 4, you wouldn't have to, it'd be 8 foot on center or even 10 foot on center, the poles, okay? The construction type built shed, okay? But a stick built garage could easily be 16, am I gonna say this right? 16 inches
On center, right.
on center, 16 inches on center. Now with the possible proposed conditions, if you didn't meet them, you would have to remove that shed or garage.
Oh, that's her
You would
problem.
yes, it is,
One,
but you would have to remove that. So that's something you need to really think about. Secondly, do you know why the township objected? Because they didn't seem to tell us.
no. That was,
Yeah, and they didn't put anything. Did the town of Monroe tell you why they objected to it?
No, they told me that there is a certain code they have to, meet. If that's against the policy they provide, I have to do a special exception. They do understand that I do need a place to store everything, but they said that they can't really do anything, and I have to do that special exception and talk to you guys, and then they won't probably have any problem if I'm gonna get approved. But you know what, there was I talked to Darlene, and Darlene, she said, Aneta, that's how the rule is. I can't really change the rules, and that was.
well, you're right in one thing, it's 1,200 square foot building.
It is, it's the size of
Right.
the house.
And if
Yeah.
you stick build it, you've built a house.
That's correct.
Yeah,
But
I-
in order to do.
That's that's
You would
big-
have to apply.
The board is discussing right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
You would have to have a septic, you'd have to have a bathroom facility, electric,
Right.
you'd have to have the whole 9 yards, actually build it like it is a house. And just like you said, then there's no reason to be here if you're gonna do that. But you'd have to have your septic and you'd have
Right.
to have
It'd
your
have to be a
electrical
house.
all. And then you could actually use it.
So our plan here, we're gonna put the septic, we're gonna put the water, and we're gonna provide electricity to our backyard. So that's our plan this year. Plus, we were planning to do garage. So if you everything is ready to build the house, is not a easy effort, and that's why we are building big garage, because we wanna store our boat and cars and ATVs and jet skis and everything there. There is no point for us to build a small garage if you can't fit anything, especially the house we have doesn't have a garage. So that will be main reason for building.
Cons from the,
I've been trying. Are there any members of the public wishing to speak in favor or opposed to this application? Are there any members of the public wishing to speak for or against the application? Last time, are there any members of the public wishing to speak for or against the application?
I'll speak. I'm still going back to, you guys have the rules, and just for instance, my property, I had to follow the rules, and I built a little 8x8 shed. I have an RV there, but that's all I can do. So in retrospect, I just think that everyone should follow the rules, because if you start giving out exceptions for bigger buildings, then everyone's gonna come back and start using this exception, in my mind, anyway.
I can address that. The ordinance specifically says, if you would like to put up a shed first, you have to apply for a special exception.
Right, I agree.
I mean, that's right in the ordinance that you can apply, and we do have a number of these every year.
And there is no size attached to that? That's my question to you, Dusty.
Doesn't the size-
30 by 40 versus an 8 by 10.
Okay, so if it's
There's
under
no
100,
size restrictions in that.
if it's under 150 square feet, they can put it up without a permit, without coming to this board or anything. And that's exactly what he did. He put up an 8 by 8, excuse me, an 8 by 8. He didn't pay an application fee for a special exception or a zoning permit. He put it on his property, he has to meet the setbacks.
But, okay, that's one.
Once you get over 150, if you want to put it on there before a house,
Is there a size requirement in that case?
it's whatever they apply, but this board can amend this application and say 30 by 40 is ridiculous. Let's go, whatever.
That's my.
You guys have that authority to change this application.
Let me give an example. I applied to build a 40 by 60 pole barn on my property prior to building my home. That was granted to me with the provision, the condition that I had finished my home, full basement, 2-story house at the end of a year from that period of time, or I had to take my pole barn down 40 by 60 at my expense.
Yep.
And I said, fine, I'll do it.
Well, and that's what you guys are discussing right now. At this point, if there's no other members of the public wishing to speak, we can close the public hearing and the board will deliberate.
Okay,
Discuss your conditions or modifications to the request.
my concern is the size of this thing
Go ahead, Robert.
and the construction of it.
About what? I'm sorry.
I said, my concern is the size of the building and the type of construction and the duration of time that's going to elapse before a residence is built.
Again, I'd say we put the same conditions on we did on the previous one. You want this shed up there, barn, garage, fine. Building permit by August 1, completion by August 2023. Meet those conditions, fine, otherwise.
And then she can choose whether or not she's comfortable with those conditions.
Right. Okay, you make that into a motion, Bob?
And she has to understand that it has to be removed.
It will be put on the permit that we issue.
Also, I'd like to see a picture of this shed. I mean, if you get it, Dusty, that's,
Well, she showed a picture of the house. I don't know if she showed a picture of the shed.
Uh,
But again, she did say that we have pictures of what she has of it in our file.
The shed's not there.
No, it's not, but does she have a design for it?
I think I did send it. You know what? I might have it because I did make a copy, but I did send that to Monroe.
Unfortunately, we didn't get anything from the town of Monroe.
I did send a letter and picture. You know what? Let me get the pictures. So I do have I should have it. I'm gonna provide you guys. This is gonna be a metal building with tall, garage doors and metal garage doors. Let me. I thought that you have it. That's why.
In planning and zoning meetings that I've been at in the past, if you had materials that you brought for your discussion, the board kept them
So
for their.
Yes.
yeah,
their paper.
that's the picture.
Mhm.
I can keep holding that. No, keep holding it up.
Okay.
hold it up, and take a picture of it.
she can submit that with the design, but that,
Yeah,
I mean, you guys could approve that
I just think
style.
that it's appropriate to have those documents in your file. I think. I've been at other
Yep.
meetings, they've done that, I don't know, but that's when Phil was, doing that, when I was at those meetings.
So I think there's a motion. There's a motion. Is there a second for attaching that condition?
I'm second. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Can I hear the motion again?
that we put the conditions on, Robert, that building permit has to be taken out by August 1st of this year, completion of the house August 1st next year. That's that's the conditions we put on. it.
And.
Not necessary.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So that, I think you guys just voted on it too,
Yep.
did-
Mhm.
okay?
He just has to answer. He just has
Oh,
to
yeah,
answer.
did you vote?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Just so that she understands that.
Let me
Well, it's
get
her-
through the application. Yeah, so,
If she don't want the conditions, she don't apply for the application.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay, now we need a motion to approve the request
with the attached
with the
conditions.
attached,
I make a motion that we approve the application.
with the attachments.
Conditions attached.
You second?
Second.
Okay.
I,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so they granted the application. Or they approved what you presented, the 30 by 40, roughly the shed that you presented. The condition is you have to have a new home permit in place issued to you by August 1st of this year.
Mhm.
And that house has to be built by August 1st of next year.
Okay, I'll
If
try
the
my
house
best.
is- Well, hold on. If the house is not built by August 1st of next year, your 30 by 40 shed is coming down.
Okay. Okay,
That is the condition.
okay,
Okay.
thank you so much, guys.
You
Thank you. I
you need
really,
a permit. You will need a permit to put up the shed. So when you're ready, come into the office and we can get that taken care of.
perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Thank you.
Bye. Hold on. All right, so we close the public hearings. We have no correspondence.
No correspondence?
Next meeting is
6th of April.
April 6th.
Okay,
Same time, same place.
same smiling faces.
Sure.
We need a motion to adjourn.
I so moved.
All in
so
favor?
much fun, I don't know.
Why break
Did
up the
somebody second?
party now?
Did somebody second it?
Yes.
Okay. We are adjourned. And,